Hi, Melissa Deely here, back for day 7 of my 12 Days of Christmas series, Surviving the Stress, Eating, and Drinking of the Holidays. Yesterday, I talked about the theory of polarity, creating sugar cravings and our body wanting to be in balance. So that's one reason why we might be reaching for sugar. Another reason why we might be reaching for sugar is more of the psychological, emotional eating. Sometimes we're just, looking for something that makes us feel better. And in the short term, it does make us feel better. It gives us more energy and, it just makes us feel good. But the reality is that when we are eating for emotional reasons, ultimately we may feel better in that moment for a very short amount of time. But if you're honest with yourself, an hour later, 2 hours later, you're not feeling better emotionally or even physically. You might actually have some pain in your gut as a result of the emotional eating that happened. And it's very common. We've all been there. And so yesterday I was talking about stopping and asking yourself, am I truly hungry in this moment? And what am I looking for? Is there some other kind of nourishment that I'm looking for? And that is particularly important here when it comes to emotional eating, that instead of avoiding whatever it is that is bothering us, which is generally the reason that we're turning to eating and turning to some other kind of nourishment, we need to be facing whatever it is that is causing this emotional turmoil. And sometimes we think avoidance is our best option, whereas in reality, facing it head on is our best option, because then whatever the issue is can be resolved one way or another and put behind you, and you then get to let go of all of this emotional stress that you're undergoing. I have talked previously about wearing your love bra, your love shield. And so I want to invite you to do that, is put that love bra, love shield on and pick up the phone, make an appointment with whoever it is that you need to be talking to, addressing situations with, and talk it out. Sometimes some of the things that we toss and turn over can be resolved when we simply face up and communicate with someone firsthand. There are very often misunderstandings, and you thought this and she thought that, and vice versa. Have those conversations. You can still be kind to them and kind to yourself. They don't have to be antagonistic conversations. Approach it from a point of, maybe I've misunderstood, and see if you can come to some kind of resolution that allows you to overcome whatever stresses are bothering you, put them behind you, and leave that emotional eating behind so that you're not triggering more sugar cravings. With emotional eating, or just with eating at this time of year, there can be digestive stress. And that is simply because there is so much food around, there's so much celebration, there's socialization, invitations, etc. And so you're possibly eating different foods to how you would typically eat when you have most of your meals at home, prepared by you. And so your digestive system may be feeling unwell. It may be feeling bogged down simply because of the stress that it's under, accommodating different foods, accommodating more food than usual. Perhaps there's some overeating going on because, it all looks so good, I want it all. And then perhaps too, just it's a busy time of year and there are, additional stresses. Eating under stress causes our digestive system to actually be shut down. And so we aren't able to metabolize the food. It's not being assimilated. We're missing out on vitamins, minerals, and nutrients getting into our bloodstream. And instead, it's being passed out of our bodies in larger chunks than it should be, or stored as fat, none of which we want. And so ideally, we want to be eating in a non-stress state. That is when our parasympathetic nervous system is switched on, which is our rest and digest nervous system. And that is what allows us to properly digest our food. And digestion starts in the mouth. It starts with chewing. It starts with salivary enzymes breaking down the food, and us helping that process with chewing. And when we break down the food in our mouth, it makes it much easier on the digestive work that our gut has to do and helps us not feel bogged down. So I want to encourage you to think about that as you eat your next few meals. See how high you can count as you chew your meal. Challenge your family members to a fun little game at the dinner table and see who can chew their mouthful the most number of times. And as you do that, think about the flavors that you can enjoy, the juices. If you chew a piece of apple, you could chew one piece of apple 50 times and really notice how the juice in that apple comes into your mouth and the flavor of the apple. That's how we all should be eating. But reality is we, on average, chew our food about 7 times because we're rushing through the meal. And that puts stress on our digestive system in our gut. We're not assimilating the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, which means the energy that we should be getting from those is not coming to us. So we can eat a meal, we're eating for energy, and yet after eating, we can still feel hungry and we still don't have renewed energy because that food hasn't been properly assimilated and isn't making it into our bloodstream. So there's so much going on, things to think about, but those are some little tips for you to think about through the holiday season to try and make the best of your digestive system, to help it do its best work so that you're not feeling bogged down and just heavy and unwell in your gut with all of the food that's around and all of the socializing that you're doing. If you do struggle with gut issues or this talk is just making you more aware of it and you would like some help, that's of course what I do as a health coach. And our microbiome is really the start of so many things. Chronic illness can all be directed back to the microbiome. And if we can clean that up and really understand how to feed it well, how to look after it, then you can avoid many chronic illnesses and just feel so much better in yourself. So if you need any help with that, reach out. But in the meantime, I will see you back here tomorrow for day 8. Thank you for joining me. And I hope these tips are helping you enjoy your holiday season more and you learn a little bit every day. Bye.